As a man who is purpose driven and building something, and that is actually trying to create something for himself in this world, something meaningful, something that actually fulfills him. You're not partying, you're not going out to the bars, you're not doing drugs, you're not scamming, you're not stealing from nobody. You're actually putting in the work. You're actually dedicating yourself to fitness and getting your body right, and reading and gaining knowledge and information, and going down the path of individuation and healing your childhood wounds and relationship traumas. You're really putting in the work. You're really improving yourself and improving your life, and you're seeing the results, right? You have to guard yourself. Like, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your sexual energy, your sexual autonomy and vitality, because there will be a lot of distractions on your path of trying to become self-realized as a man. There will be, women that spawn into your life that try to distract you and try to throw you off your path, and like it's so many things that happen that test your discipline. you know like, you'll come across women when you tell them that you're celibate and you're not trying to have sex or whatever, and they will press and pry and try to, you know they try to essentially break your abstinence. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not used to a man who withholds something that's usually freely given to them. You know what I mean? And it's not because you're not attracted, and it's not because you don't want to, but you're just controlling your impulses and controlling where you give your sexual energy or your life force energy to, because you don't want to plant your seed in the wrong garden. You know what I mean? And then you create rotten crops from that soil. You know what I mean? So you just got to be careful, because if you get the wrong girl pregnant, man, you know what I'm saying, or the wrong woman pregnant, it will hold you back. you know and I try to avoid that shit. Like, I guard my sexual autonomy, and it kind of throws women off sometimes, and don't let them you know uh try to, like, get you to prove yourself by, like, oh, he must be gay, or you know or he a bitch, or he a weak ass, or whatever. Like, don't let none of the disrespect. It's all just to test your frame, because true strength is not in how many women you can take down, but it's how many women you can deny. You know what I mean? That's what shows value. Because if you out here just sleeping around, and every woman around the block can tell your wife or whoever what you look like naked, is that really valuable? You know what I'm saying? Is it really valuable? Like, that's what we got to realize, especially as men. You have to protect your sexual autonomy. It's not just about women. It's not just about, oh, body count this, body count that. Like, as a man, you got to protect your sexual vitality too, because your sexual energy is the driving force. It's a creative force, because it can create life, but it can also create your wildest dreams, and it can also lead you to your destiny. You know what I'm saying? Because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So it goes somewhere. You know what I mean? And it turns into motivation, whether it be for the gym, creating that new body, that dream body, creating that business, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. But the thing is, you have to guard your sexual vitality, bro. You know what I mean? Stop being so frivolous. Stop being so easy. Stop being so impulsive. You know what I mean? Because you can confuse, you start to confuse yourself once you bring a, like, when you bring sexual emotions and clarity when you blend the two. You know what I mean? I had a girl who was so mad at me because I wouldn't sleep with her, because I was actually trying to see if I actually liked her and if we were actually in alignment. And once I took sex off the table and I stopped, and I was just like, I'm not having sex, you know what I'm saying? Like sleeping with clothes on and all that, like not really, not, touching her or nothing like that. I was asleep one night and she hit me in my nuts. She hit me in my fucking nuts because she felt so entitled to my body. You know what I mean? And if you're a man that's into fitness and you got your body right, a lot of women will choose you, or only want you for that. You know what I mean? So you have to guard yourself, because you know it's more so about the fantasy. You know what I mean? The idea of you than who you actually are, or just to say, I broke him. You know what I mean? So just be careful, bro. That's all I'm saying.